This is a BBP News election update.
Tuesday, Indiana residents went to the polls for the state's primary. The governor is not up for re-election this year, but in District 9 of the House of Representatives, there was a retiree. In the primaries, there are Republican Aaron Houchin and Democrat Matthew Fife. And in the Senate, Senator Todd Young, a Republican, is up for re-election, and he did pass through the primaries, and he is against Democrat Thomas McDermott.
Ohio also went to the primaries on Tuesday. Their governor is up for election. That is Mike DeWine, a Republican. He made it through the primaries and will be facing off against Democrat Nan Whaley. And then in the House of Representatives in District 11, Democrat Shontel Brown made it through the primaries, as well as Republican Eric Brewer. In District 13, Democrat Madison Jessiato Gilbert will be facing off against Republican Amelia Sykes. In District 15, Democrat Gary Josephson will be facing off against Republican Mike Carey. And at the time of recording, District 16 has not been called yet. We will have the results for that on Monday. And then in the Senate, where Rob Portman is retiring, the Democrat who made it through the primaries is Tim Ryan. He will be going up against Republican J.D. Vance. This has been a BBP News election update. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of BBP News. I'm Nicholas Rod. Chris Baker's here with me. We are back for another episode of BBP News, another Friday morning episode. And Chris, start us off in the normal Friday morning fashion with the weather headed into the weekend.
In Los Angeles, California, it is clear 79 with a partly cloudy weekend. And in Houston, Texas, it is partly cloudy 93 with a clear weekend. And in Chicago, Illinois, it is raining 51 with a clear weekend. And in New York City, there are scattered showers 59 and windy conditions throughout the weekend.
All right. Well, we're back again. And Chris, a little birdie tells me that you have something for us to discuss this morning.
I do. So what's your opinion on food?
I love food. Food is definitely.
Have you ever gotten in a
time.
heated debate over food, Nick?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
What is the most common debate over food you've had?
Okay, so it's a bit of a weird one, right? But I have a number of friends that just will continuously debate me on the fact that it is weird to eat certain things. So I'll have grapes, let's say. I'll just have some grapes and then I'll be drinking coffee at the same time. Now the reason people argue is because they think that the tastes blend together, but they don't. They don't. And I argue this every time. It's not like I'm taking a sip of coffee and popping a grape into my mouth at the same time. No. That'd be just horrifying. No, it's one at a time, and then one overtakes the other, and it's a back and forth motion.
So it's like you're having your cup of coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
And then you have a bowl of grapes right there that you're munching on at the same time.
Exactly.
That's literally what I did this morning. The only difference is I drink Pepsi and I had strawberries.
But I have that argument
that
all
was
the
the
time.
breakfast on the go.
I have that argument all the time.
To me, that seems completely normal. I don't really understand that.
Yeah, me too.
But so a new survey is out of, I don't even know if you could call it a survey. I guess it is. Of what the most common arguments people have with food.
Okay.
And I feel like there might be a few things missing here.
Oh boy. Yeah, probably.
So number one, hot dogs and their toppings.
Okay. Yep, I can see that.
What do you put on your hot dog?
I'll generally go for little ketchup or barbecue sauce. I have found out that barbecue sauce surprisingly goes pretty well with a hot dog. And then we can go a few different directions. We can go for chopped onions, or we can go for a little canned chili. A few different directions to go, but that's about where I stand.
So most people, they argue about ketchup or mustard.
Yep, that makes sense.
And you're a no mustard person?
I've never really been a huge mustard person. I just stick to the ketchup.
Well, so some people, obviously it's either no ketchup, no
Yep.
mustard,
Yep.
um, and whether or not you should do both.
Mm-hmm.
But and I think it's all about location, location, location.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's
Be-
fair.
Because if I'm having a hot dog at home,
Mm-hmm.
I'll just put like I don't put a lot of toppings on it, which that's another argument. Should you make it
Yeah.
a soup or just a little bit? When I'm home, generally it's like a little bit of mustard and a little bit of ketchup.
Mm-hmm. Makes
But
sense.
there's a local hot dog stand in town, and I get the hot dog with the works, which is onions, mustard, green relish, pickles, and salt and pepper, with like a little meat sauce on top, and every now and then sometimes there's like some kind of tomato relish as
See,
well.
that sounds fantastic.
But if I'm like at a barbecue, I'm just like ketchup mustard.
Yeah, just throw a little bit on there. No, I do agree that it's definitely about the location. There are some, like, if you're going out and getting a hot dog from a restaurant or something of the like, or like that hot dog stand that you were talking about, then I think it's completely fair to load it up and to do like different things with it. I've heard all different sorts of, hot dog combinations, even ones that have, french fries on it and the like. So, all
Well,
different
that
types
sounds
that you
good.
can do. Yeah, yeah.
When I first saw this, I thought it would be hot dog whether it's a sandwich or not. Honestly, remember when that was the big
That
thing?
that's a huge argument. I will never forget that one. I could still argue it today.
And what's your opinion, Nick?
I'd have to say no.
I never really had an opinion on it.
No, if you had to push me to give an answer, I would definitely say it's not. But
Like,
that's
if
a
you were to
discussion
ask
for another
me,
time.
yeah, like I never thought of a hot dog as a sandwich,
Yeah,
but I understand both sides of the argument, so I never really had an
I
opinion on it.
suppose, but no, I'm still saying no.
I never had like a big formal argument about that, but I know a lot of people did. Number two, which I don't have much of a comment on it, it's old fashions, bourbon or brandy.
I got nothing to say on that one.
Number three, buffalo wings and the best places to get them.
Okay, that makes sense because people are very testy about their wings. I gotta say, like, you can get in some good debates over wings. Oddly enough, I'd like to add to that though, style of wings. So like bone in versus boneless.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say that's another one. That's another good debate to have.
This one, it's not so much like buffalo wings, bone in, bone out, how you like your wings. It's
Yeah,
more of buffalo wings. Are they called wings or are they called buffalo wings?
depends on the type of wing you get.
Like, I never realized this was an argument, but apparently it's an argument where why are you calling it buffalo wings if you're getting like hot sauce and all the hot stuff on it? It's
Mm.
just wings, just like everything else.
Well, here's the thing, right? If you get those buffalo wings, that's like your classic hot wing. That's your classic buffalo hot wing. When you start getting like let's say just like the garlic parmesan or the barbecue
Ooh,
or
those are good.
the or like the sweet Thai chili ones, flavors like that. Now you're completely gone from the buffalo territory. You are away from that buffalo territory. You can't call it a buffalo wing at that point. That's not what it is.
You know, my argument's more bone in or bone out.
Yeah, that's definitely an argument that I prefer having. I'm a bone out person. Always have been. I will eat a bone in wing. Don't get me wrong. I will still eat and enjoy a bone in wing. But if I have the opportunity to go boneless, I will.
See, here's I say this again. I think it's location, 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 because if I'm at like if I go to the grocery store and I'm cooking wings on the
Mm,
grill, I want them on a bone.
that makes sense.
But if I'm going to like the bar, to get a drink and order a few appetizers, especially if they're hot, I don't know why, but I don't want a bone.
Yeah. If I'm, just heading to the classic, your classic pizza place, whatever, I want bone out.
So next is variations on pasta carbonara.
Huh.
Um, so the argument is whether or not it should have peas included.
Interesting. Okay.
Um,
I think peas can
I
go
didn't
into
realize
almost.
this was such a heated argument,
I've never heard this one before.
but apparently it's a very heated argument.
I think peas go with pasta quite a lot actually.
Me too, especially if it's like a cheesy pasta.
Oh yeah. Yep,
Um,
absolutely.
and then next is pizza. Pretty much anything
Oh,
pizza, you'll get an
anything with
argument.
pizza, anything with
Um,
toppings and the like. Oh,
especially with mushrooms, that's a big argument. Should mushrooms be on pizza?
my arguments, yes.
Another argument is should you have ranch dressing on your pizza?
Um, I think for this one, me personally, if we're just talking about like say dipping your pizza in ranch, no. But if we're going to go for a specifically like say chicken bacon ranch pizza, now we can talk. Now we
Okay,
can
but
have a
do you put the
conversation.
ranch on there before you put it in the oven or after?
I'd say before. Cook it in.
Because I've had a pizza before where they put the ranch on it. Like they make the pizza and then drizzle ranch on it. Same with blue cheese. And I don't know why, but it tastes really weird afterwards and I don't like it. I would rather have it cooked and
Yeah.
either put the ranch on it, drizzle it over it, or even just dip it.
Yeah, just like well, for me just like cook it in. Cook it into the pizza. I think
And
that's the
then
best way to do
next
that.
is cheesesteaks that aren't from Philadelphia.
Uh,
So, do you like a cheesesteak, Nick?
um, this is blasphemy. I know it is. But I've never actually had a cheesesteak before, and I
Oh,
need to,
Nick.
and I've been meaning to, but I just
Nick.
haven't done it.
Well, you know what's on a cheesesteak, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, apparently there's an argument, and I've never heard of this. And I will never do this because I think this is absolutely like ruining the cheesesteak.
Okay.
Very angry about it. Ketchup does not belong on a cheesesteak.
Oh no 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 no. Keep that away. Keep that away. We're not even gonna discuss that one.
Who the hell would put ketchup on a cheesesteak?
Uh God. Yeah, no, that just sounds like a nightmare situation.
And
I can't get behind that one.
uh, like, I'm not a big ketchup fan as it is, but I like mustard more than ketchup. But keep that mustard away from my
Keep
Chili's
the
cheesesteak
mustard
as
away,
well.
keep the ketchup away. Just let it be what it
Yeah.
is.
And then next is, I feel like as we're getting farther down the list, more argumentative I will become about these. The next is chili, beans or no beans.
It has to have beans. It has to, or else it is not chili.
See, my argument is beans are fine, but I want more than just beans.
Well, yeah. No, there definitely has to be more in the chili. Throw in a little beef in there, throw in a little mushroom, throw in a little.
Tomato,
Yep, you can add tomato into the mix.
some seasonings.
Absolutely.
But
A
people
little.
that make chili with beef and like six different types of beans, that is not chili.
Yeah, it's a rough time. Like I can accept 2 to 3 types of beans, but then like again,
But it's
throw in
got to
those
have other
mushrooms,
things
throw in
mixed with it.
yeah, you got to throw in some other stuff. But a little side argument to the chili argument. Um, sweet versus hot chili. Hot chili wins every time.
So, but how hot?
Uh, I mean, here's the thing. I eat extremely spicy things now. I'm like a regular Carolina Reaper hot sauce eater. So my definition of spice is a little different. I appreciate a really hot chili.
See, I don't really want a sweet chili. I don't mind chili that's mild. I don't want my face burning off where that's all I taste. But I don't really want a sweet chili unless I have had some pretty good sweet chilies too
No,
with like bacon and things like that.
I can't do it. I can't do sweet chili. It just doesn't work for me.
Um, next is barbecue, and like what region you're having your barbecue. This one, I don't really understand it. I think barbecue food is delicious. I don't understand people that don't think barbecue food is delicious.
Same.
You throw, something on the slow cooker, in 8 hours, that thing is absolutely delicious. A
Oh, yeah.
rack of ribs, barbecue that thing.
So good. So good.
Number 9, hoagies and the best way to build them.
I don't really have much to say on this one.
All I have to say is I love hoagies.
Fair enough. Number 10.
So the construction, like whether or not there's too much meat, which,
Okay.
and if the bun is wrong or if there's too many veggies.
Got you. Yeah, I can see that.
I like a good hoagie bread. And number 10, ranch dressing.
Just in general.
Is it good? Is it disgusting? What is it?
I don't really have an opinion either way, I have to say.
I think this argument thing is missing ranch dressing versus blue cheese.
Okay. That makes sense.
I think it's missing that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like people either love ranch or they
Mhm.
love blue cheese. Not many people love both.
Right. But, we've added some good arguments to this list, I feel. We've thrown in our own little side arguments into this whole thing. Definitely an interesting list, I will say.
That was, like Nick said, quite the arguments, but we do have quite a bit of news to get into. Monday night, as I am sure you are all aware by now, a bombshell report was dropped by Politico, and in the report, it appears that the Supreme Court will ultimately overturn Roe v. Wade. This was a draft that was leaked by Politico over the controversial Mississippi abortion case. A leak of a Supreme Court opinion has never been done before. People do not just go around leaking Supreme Court opinions, and this 98-page draft opinion was written by Justice Alito and is assumed to be the majority opinion. In the draft copy that is available in our show notes, you can see it is dated as first draft and is created on February 10th.
In the opinion, Alito writes that Roe was egregiously wrong from the start and argues in the majority opinion this is now a state decision. This means that we are in for turbulent times. First, we need to wait for the official ruling from the Supreme Court to come down. Keep in mind, it's not supposed to be released until sometime in June. Lots of things can happen between now and then. We aren't saying it will change, but again, a lot can happen. Plus, there will be a lot of fallout from this, and that has already begun this week. You need to understand that it is an election year, so we will be hearing a lot about it over the coming months.
President Biden and Chief Justice John Roberts have both responded to the bombshell leaked draft Supreme Court abortion opinion that, if made official, would overturn Roe v. Wade. We also have some additional reaction from Vice President Kamala Harris and some Republican lawmakers. We mentioned that just a moment ago, but it is worth noting again that this is not the final ruling. The Supreme Court releases its rulings on big cases like this usually in the months of June, and those opinions and rulings are debated among the justices and go under multiple drafts. They are refined and debated among the justices long before the public hears a decision, and what we are seeing now is just the first draft. Chief Justice John Roberts alluded to the fact that these types of leaks just do not happen when he confirmed that the draft opinions is authentic. But he also said in his statement, quote, "It does not represent a decision by the court or the final position of any member on the issue in this case," end quote. Chief Justice Roberts also called the leak a betrayal and said he has directed the marshal of the court to launch an investigation into the source of the leak.
The president issued a written statement Tuesday morning saying Congress needs to affirm a women's right to choose, but that is very difficult in a very divided Congress. He also raised the issue about the future of other rights that this ruling would impact if made official.
Rationale of the decision has to be where it needs to stand. A whole range of rights are in play. All the decisions related to your private life, who you marry, whether or not you decide to conceive a child or not, whether or not you can have an abortion, a range of other decisions.
Vice President Harris Tuesday night also made remarks about the leaked copy of the opinion.
How dare they? How dare they tell a woman what she can do and cannot do with her own body? How dare they? How dare they try to stop her from determining her own future? How dare they try to deny women their rights and their freedoms?
Senate Republicans also had reactions to the leak, starting with Texas Senator Ted Cruz.
This is the most egregious breach of trust at the Supreme Court that has ever happened.
And Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell.
This is the first time we've had somebody on the inside try to attack the institution.
Aside from all the other legal implications, if the court does indeed move forward next month with this opinion as it stands, more than half the states in this country are ready to or already plan to ban abortions.
Getting back to the midterms that we were talking about at the top of the show, Republicans in Ohio have chosen J.D. Vance, the candidate chosen by former President Trump. In a closely watched Senate primary,
I have absolutely got to thank the 45th, the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. They wanted to write a story that this campaign would be the death of Donald Trump's America First agenda. Ladies and gentlemen, it ain't the death of the America First agenda.
Vance was behind in the polls before Trump endorsed him, and Trump-endorsed candidates were watching the election closely on Tuesday for clues on their own political fate, on whether Trump's endorsement would be enough to carry Vance across the finish line, which proves Trump does still have some power over the party. But just because they have strength in one state, it does not mean that they will all play out the same. In the coming weeks, Trump's power will continue to be tested. In all the primaries, it'll show a lot about the current Republican Party and the Democratic Party as well.
brace yourselves, the Fed Chair raised interest rates Wednesday, and this time it is twice as much as they did last time. The Federal Reserve met Wednesday, and with inflation continuing to hit 40-year highs, interest rates will most certainly increase again. In March, as you may remember, the Fed raised interest rates 0.25%. This time it was raised 0.5%. This will not be the last increase in 2022. The Fed said there will be several more. If you have been following this story, you know inflation is at 8.5%, which is way too high because the Fed's goal is to keep inflation at 2%. The Fed regulates inflation using their biggest tool, interest rates. Right now, there is too much money circulating around the economy. Even though you may not feel that way, there is, and it's all mostly from the pent-up demand and as we are emerging from the COVID-19 pandemic.
The problem is there's just not enough supply, so prices are going up, plus unemployment is at 3.6%, meaning more people are back in the workforce and wages are also going up. That is why you feel that even if you have money in your pocket, it doesn't get you anything. That is because everything is too expensive. But by the Fed raising interest rates, the cost to borrow gets more expensive, so both consumers and businesses start to pull their money out of circulation, and eventually prices start to calm down. As a side note to that, when prices slow down, it eases demand and lets up on some stress on the supply chain. There's a lag time between your loans and this announcement. For a time, there will probably be high prices, high interest, and high inflation. But with that said, if the Fed chair raises interest rates to the right percentage, everything will level out.
The March report from the job statistics showed probably any answer on the strength of the job market plus hourly wages are up. In March, a record 11.5 million jobs were open in sectors like retail, healthcare, and hospitality. In March, it showed yet again we are at an employees market, meaning companies are competing for the same small pool of available workers, which are giving workers the luxury of demanding more money or better working conditions, or even leaving that job to find another one because there are plenty open. The Great Resignation continues. Workers are quitting their jobs at another record high rate. In March, 4.5 million people quit their job. The industries with the highest quit rates are retail, professional business services, and food services.
6.7 million people were newly hired in the month of March, and hourly wages were at a 6% increase, according to the Federal Reserve Bank of America wage tracker. Those who switched jobs saw a 5.3% increase in wages when they did so. Experts say that wage measures will probably keep creeping up for the next few months. While that is good for workers, it adds to the inflation pressure because of all of the people demanding high wages and quitting their jobs to get better paying ones. That means that more people have more money in their pocket and are more willing to spend that money. But there is not enough supply to spend it on. That keeps prices going up, and that plays into the Fed raising interest rates as we just explained. And today we will be getting the latest unemployment numbers, which experts say will only boost the hot job market, but more on that on Monday.
Getting into rapid news, Maryland Governor Larry Hogan said Trump should not seek the White House in 2024 and urged fellow Republicans to resist nominating a, quote, cheap impressionist of Trump in 2024 presidential primary race. More details on that on Medium.
A Washington agricultural agency said it plans to treat around 2,000 acres in 3 counties to eradicate an infestation of Japanese beetles.
Nick, what do you got for this Friday morning good news?
All right, so for my good news story today, it's something a little different. Now and again, we throw in a little bit of scientific discovery, or I find some sort of research that's going on that could somehow benefit people down the line. And that's what I have this morning. It was kind of a cool story, so I just wanted to throw it in. So obviously there are a number of people that deal with chronic pain. This is pain that for one reason or another just never seems to go away over a long period of time, so they continue to deal with it. And there are different ways of dealing with it. Some people will turn to things obviously like painkillers and the such, or different medicines to help ease that chronic pain. And there are a few other methods as well. Well, psychologists are coming up with a new way to deal with that chronic pain. And basically, the ideology is that it all depends on how you think about it. According to the studies and the research that have been going on around this idea, a lot of chronic pain, or at least some types of it, are often caused because of how your brain interprets that pain. They say that biologically and biomedically, there actually is no pain going on. It is all in the mind. And so they're trying to adapt how people think through a process that's called pain reprocessing therapy. And again, it basically just tries to help the patient reprocess how they're viewing and thinking about that pain, and trying to recalibrate the brain so that it no longer sends the receptors that make the person feel that pain. And this is still under study. It is still undergoing trials and the like, but their hope is that it should take a large number of people off of things like opioids, and can help a lot of people in the future avoid turning to opioids and other types of painkillers, and instead be able to, again, just reprocess that pain and get rid of it that way. So just kind of a cool and
very scientific interestingness.
Yeah, very, very scientific story, but one that I found very interesting, and if it works, could be absolutely huge.
It could be a game changer for the opioid crisis.
Yeah, I completely agree. So this was just something that I felt, was worth sharing, and it was honestly pretty cool. So there you go.
That is the end of this Friday morning news episode. We will be back here tomorrow morning for a monthly good news episode with yours truly, Nick. And Sunday, we will be back here with the what to expect. And of course, Monday with a news episode. But until then, have a great start to your weekend, everybody.
Bye, guys.